Well, I have gotten a response to the video that I posted yesterday regarding the Indian Gail commandments, which the goddess Lakshmi approves of. Let me go ahead and read it to you. This is from Magnus the Red. We received a response to your Indian Gail commandments video. Dear ma'am, my name is Dinesh Chatterjee. Forgive me if I did not pronounce your name. I do not speak the Indian language. I am the attorney for the Political Action Committee, Frisco Indians Against White Supremacy, FIAWS. We are planning on Sue Church of Gail and Zachary Knight. His name is Zach Knight. He is an ex-Antichrist. Okay, I just wanted to let the public know that. For promote of anti-Indian hatred, the slaughter of innocents, human right abuse, and abuse. However, we will take into consideration your perspective because you have spoken to Lakshmi Diva. Namaste. Peace and harmony to all. First of all, if you are suing us for the actions or what happened at any of the compassion centers, you first need to prove that we were behind them, because we were not. I actually encourage you to sue them. The ones behind, we suspect that the ones behind the compassion centers were an off-branch of a group of very fat women, many of whom are white, okay, who are angry at the world because we do not worship them for being fat, okay? So if you're going to sue anybody, you should be suing them. Get the right criminal. Obviously, assuming that your courts are just, you would not go after somebody for a crime they did not commit. As far as Zach Knight, I will admit that in the past he has made anti-Indian statements, and I do not agree with everything that Zach Knight has done. He is a former criminal who has gotten right, and we have forgiven him. He still has many things to learn, okay? And I do not agree with everything he does or has done. However, Zach Knight had nothing to do with what happened at these compassion centers. And he is doing his best to be righteous. Next thing, we have heard ma'am's video on YouTube about the supposed Indian Gail commandment. We have follow-up questions. Question 1 for ma'am. You have said that eating beef poop is the same as eat beef meat. Provide evidence. This is not true. We deny. Eating of beef is prohibited by great Lord Krishna. This Lakshmi is liar and perhaps a demon sent to deceive you. I laugh when I read this because I, as a Christian, understand your feelings. Okay, let me tell you something. I am sensing that you all have a problem with the sin of pride, which I believe causes problems in all religions, and is the root sin that leads to every sin in Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Buddhism, and every spiritual practice. It appears that you have made an idol out of Lord Krishna and your Hindu scriptures associated with him, which according to my spiritual practice is the sin of idolatry, which is caused by the root sin of pride, which leads to all sins. The sin of idolatry makes you go crazy, where you lose your ability to think logically in dealing with life. You assume that anything you do that honors your idol is justified, even murder, lying, stealing, and rape. So, this is a problem in all religions, even Christianity. And basically, you are assuming that the goddess Lakshmi, who I have spoken with, is not her, but is a demon. This happened to me when Jesus himself had to correct me because I had made an idol of the Bible, the Christian Bible, especially one particular version called the King James Version. And as a result, I treated those who did not worship my idol as wicked scum. Jesus became very angry at me. He said, Gail, he said, the Bible is written by men. And for that reason, your interpretation of some sections of it will have mistakes. For instance, let me give you an example from the Christian religion, how worshiping the Bible can get you, or any scriptures, including Hindu scriptures, Muslim scriptures, can get you into big trouble. In Christian Bible, they teach this. The Christians believe that there is such thing as demon possession, where a devil actually lives in your body, okay, and takes over your body. This is incorrect. The God Buddha has informed me that there is no such thing as demon possession. But you tell this to the average Christian and they will say, oh, you have a devil because you believe this. Why do they believe this? They believe this because in the Christian Bible, okay, Jesus with his disciples cast out demons from people. And I asked Buddha, I said, why did they do this? How could the Bible be? The Bible has a mistake in it. It says that there's demon possession because his disciples cast out demons. Buddha said they did this as a placebo. Everybody believed that demon possession existed. So they did it just to make everybody think the demons were being cast out. And then once they thought they were out, it solved the problem. The problem is when everybody believes something, even if it's a lie, sometimes you have to go along with the lie to solve the problem, to make them think you solved it when you didn't. So you might say, well, why are you telling me that? I'm telling you this, that I think a problem that you Hindus are having with your spiritual practice is that you're reading the Hindu scriptures and not interpreting them correctly. Okay? And it appears that you have made a god out of cows. That is the sin of idolatry, which is a problem in any religion. By making an idol out of cows, your thinking about them is crazy. Just like Christian thinking about demon possession is crazy. Some Christians have gone so far with demon possession, they think everybody is demon possessed who doesn't agree with them, when there is actually no such thing as demon possession. Demons do exist, but they do not possess our bodies. I will not be able to convince all of you of this, especially those of you that are filled with the root sin of pride. You will not be open to anything I have to say. But those of you that have humility, consider my words. You may say, why is beef poop? I agree with you that beef poop is not the same as beef meat. That is not the point. The point is, eating beef poop is not healthy. It is filled with germs. Poop from animals is the garbage the body did not want. And that is what you are eating. It has germs. It could make you sick, which is why the goddess Lakshmi thinks you should not be doing this. Next one. Question 2 for ma'am. Why not eat poop, urine, or vomit? All are useful foodstuff and have much great flavor. Yes, many poisons taste good too. Poop looks tasty because it reminds me of delicious curry. Let me show you something. Hold on. This is one of my favorite foods. I love curry. But why do you have to put poop in curry? Tell me. You are not being logical. Your idol worship of cows has made you go crazy. Too much pride. You're so proud of worshiping cows, you have lost your mind. Why not eat poop, urine, or vomit? Okay, it's all our useful foodstuff. Useful? The garbage that the body wants to get rid of is useful? And you want to eat what the body considers garbage? Usually when people vomit, or they urinate, or they poop, the body is trying to get rid of it because it is bad for the body, or the body doesn't need it. And that is what you want to eat? You're not being logical. And have much great flavor. Oh, so just because something tastes good, that means it's good for you? Many poisons taste good. We use cow urine to cure COVID. This is a violation of one of my own commandments. I used to be guilty of doing what you're doing right now. One of my own commandments that Jesus, the great deity Jesus, gave to me, who was good friends with the goddess Lakshmi and with all of your gods. Most of your good, the only bad, don't listen to the god Kali. She is a bad Hindu goddess. But the other ones, they like Jesus. Your Krishna, I think he's good friends with Jesus. Okay? We use cow urine to cure COVID. Jesus, the God that I serve, says this is bad thing. And I think the Hindu God, his Hindu God friends would agree with him. You do not use food as medicine. This is a violation of Gail commandments. You say, why not? Because God did not intend for us to use food as medicine. Jesus says this is not good. Let me tell you what happened to me because I used food as medicine. Let me tell you. I was so bad at using food as medicine that I started eating a diet that was very off balance. Okay? And the body needs balance in the gut. Let me tell you why. There are many germs in the gut. They balance each other out. Okay? If you eat a diet that is not balanced, the balance of germs in your gut goes off. It makes you very, very sick. Also, if you eat too many foods that are not balanced, then what happens is the lining in your gut can die. The bad germs take over the good germs, and they eat away at the lining in your gut so that you lose your gut's lining. This is what happens when you eat food as medicine. This happened to me. And then what will happen next is once you lose your gut's lining, you no longer have protection inside your guts to protect your body from absorbing many bad things. And all that garbage goes into your blood and spreads around. I could get more complicated, but I'll be talking over some of your heads. The point is, Jesus, the great God Jesus, has told me we are not to use food as medicine. He didn't go into all the reasons, but you think you are smarter than the God Jesus? Research on Google, please. Is Google smarter than the God Jesus? I don't care what Google says. Many health benefit. Baloney. Jesus said, do not use food as medicine. I explained a little why it's bad. There are many other reasons. Vomit allows us to eat meals twice. Why do you want to eat vomit? Somebody vomits because their body had to reject it because it was not good for them. Many times. Why do you want to eat something the body would reject? Do not be a bigot. That's what they said to Jesus. That's what proud people say to anyone who doesn't agree with their position. Humble people are willing to consider another opinion and to maintain their objectivity, which means to not allow their prideful sin of idolatry to influence their thinking. Explain your position. I have just done that. I could explain more, but let's move on. Question 3 for ma'am. Why must we use toilet? Here in Frisco, white people and Latinos use toilets. I am noticing something here. You seem to think you are better than white people and Latinos. Why are you feeling this way? What is your motivation for your pride or your feeling of superiority to those who do not share your nationality? By the way, I am not all white. My mother is Japanese. And, yeah, I'm only half white. So you are going to do something just because you are against a certain race or nationality? This is not logical. Why? If so, we lose space in houses and I will have no room to use for housing my cousin. Why would you have to lose space in your house? In Japan, they have a hole in the ground. They go outside and go in the hole in the ground. They put a hut over a hole. Huh? Why can't you do that? And if you lose space in your house, then do it outside. Or just outside your house. I will have no room to use for housing my cousins, like I said. Outside. Streets and shore of the lake, outside with a hole in the ground. Okay? Streets and shore of the lake, gardens, highways, and parks are great for this purpose. This is not logical. Think about this. If a bad disease came into your community, which could happen if you let poop all over the place, would you not try to isolate the germ and keep it from spreading? If you put poop, pee, all over the place, and you get an epidemic, your habits will make it worse, and many people will die who could live if you used your brains and did not commit the sin of idolatry in worshiping yourselves and your culture to the point that you lose your mind. Americans do the same thing. Blacks do the same thing. Latinos with some of their Catholic practices do the same thing. Any religion where you commit the sin of idolatry, where you worship something to the point that you feel anything is justified to worship that thing, will make you go crazy. Streets and shore of the lake, gardens, highways, and parks are great for this purpose. Okay, you're going to be spreading germs everywhere. Why not just pick one spot for everybody to, a hole in the ground? Very simple. It helps fertilize the soil. This is a valid point. I will acknowledge this. In fact, in Japan, I do believe they use human feces to fertilize their crops. Actually, I don't have a problem with this. You can use poop to fertilize. Fine. But just use it to fertilize. Don't use it. But, okay, just because you use poop to fertilize the soil. But then another thing. If you poop in the middle of the street, how does that fertilize the soil? Okay, your streets are not paved. Anyways, you're still not being logical. You're still not being logical. If you want to use poop for fertilizer, still do it in one place. Get the poop, gather it together, and then use it as fertilizer. And then another thing. If you want to use poop as fertilizer, it would make more sense to put it all in one place, gather it up, and then use it as fertilizer where it is needed. You don't need fertilizer on the grass. Okay, do you eat grass? Why do you need to fertilize grass? You certainly don't. Okay. Basically, you would want fertilizer on your crops. All right. You're not being logical. Toilets are a way for whites and Chinese to make fun of us. Really? You're saying that because... What do you care what other people think about you? You seem to be very prideful. Huh? You should do what is logical and best for yourself, regardless of what anybody thinks. Oh, so why wipe your bum with a paper? You have a left hand for a reason, ma'am. Okay, if you use your hand to wipe your bum, you have just put what the body considers garbage all over your hand. Did you know the number one way to spread germs is with your hand? Yes. So let's say you get a bad epidemic in your town and everybody's wiping their butt with their hand. You are making the epidemic go crazy. Everybody will get sick and die because of your stupidity. Okay. Question 4, ma'am. Westerners call our jobs many times a scam. Explain why. We work hard to receive money from old people and other people in America. Okay, when people call you on the phone, do you always tell them the truth? Do you ever lie to them so that you can steal their money? Answer that question. If you do, then what you are doing is a scam. Now, if they call you and you are really helping them, and you are not lying to them, then that's fine. But that's not what you're doing. You're lying to them and you're tricking them. That is a scam. This is a job and we are not lazy. So you think any kind of work is considered a job, no matter what it is. Okay, so you think the mafia in the United States is a job? They work hard. Do you think Adolf Hitler, when he set up the concentration camps, I bet they were working very hard to set up those concentration camps. Well, they weren't lazy, so they had a job too. Think about your logic. You're saying that just because you worked, even if your work was evil, that means you had a job. Many work 20 hours a day redeeming gift cards, which people in America give to us. Did you lie to them to get the gift cards? Did you promise them something you didn't give them? Were you actually stealing? So you worked 20 hours a day stealing, and you call that a job. Well, Hitler, and you accuse us of being like Hitler. Hitler, at least, his concentration camp people worked at least 20 hours a day, putting everyone in the ovens and burning them. So I guess that was a job too. So you shouldn't be accusing Hitler of doing anything wrong. He worked hard too. Huh? Explain why you think this is lazy. Okay. Let me tell you why what you do is lazy. The reason, I say, you're saying your criminal work is hard work, therefore it's not lazy, and that's not why you why you do this work. Interesting point. So you think as long as you work hard, even if you are lying and cheating and tricking people, that means what you're doing is okay. Well, you apparently don't feel that way because that's how Hitler's concentration camp people did. They worked hard. And you say you're against Hitler. Germans work very hard. They're one of the hardest working races on the planet. Huh? So I guess that means what they do is okay too, huh? As long as you're not lazy, it's okay. The reason okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe the reason some of you do this is because you're greedy and you want money. So you are committing crimes, but not because you're lazy, but because you're greedy. Regardless of what your motive is, it's wrong. Okay? Now, some of you are doing it because you're lazy. Those probably only spend 1 or 2 hours a day on the phone, and then they spend the rest of the day having fun and enjoying all their stolen money. It is hard work to convince people to give you their banking information. Oh, I bet it was hard work for the people in Hitler's concentration camp to burn everybody in the ovens too. Moreover, many of us work in call center to solve your stupid problems. Ooh, are you proud? So because you tricked them and they were stupid, you had the right to do this? Because you think you're better than them? Because you outsmarted them? My, what a bad Hindu. Question 5 for ma'am. Why is it wrong to get assistance from the government? The government gives out free money. We are simply taking what is free. Oh, so the government gives out free money, and let's just put it this way. It is healthy to work. Okay? The free money should be given to those who are unable to work. Okay? Work is good. Now, it's not good to overwork like I do and not get enough sleep at night. Life is about balance. Isn't that a Hindu teaching? I know it's a Jesus teaching, and I believe it's a goddess Lakshmi teaching. Life is about balance. It's not good to work too much. It's not good to work too little. You all have the problem of working too little. So you work very hard for a couple of hours to be a criminal, and then you goof off the rest of the day, enjoying your criminal proceeds. Your life is very imbalanced. Imbalance causes disharmony in the multiverse. It is not good. Question 5 for ma'am. Why do you believe rape is wrong? If a fertile woman is showing her skin, she desires sex. Well, I'm showing you my skin. You think I want sex with you? Are you kidding? Where's the puke bucket? We give sex when available. A hand job is an expression of love. No, it's not. Not if they don't want it. And I certainly don't want any hand job. Your Western standard of love is distorted. Sex is paramount important to us, and this perspective is racist. Oh, sounds to me like you have made an idol out of sex. The root sin of pride has caused you to make an idol out of sex, and you are losing your mind. Okay, so you have made an idol out of sex. And so therefore you think any type of sex is justified. This is very evil. Pride is the root sin that leads to every sin. What about people who do not want sex? Do you think you're better than them because they're like this? You are full of pride. That is your problem. Not everybody wants sex. The God, Jesus, he is a completely asexual and aromantic. That means he has no desire for sex or romance. You think you're better than him? He will never have a wife. He has had sex in the past, and maybe he will in the future. It's none of my business. In fact, he even had it with me. I actually think he was screwed in the head when he did that, but let's not go there right now, okay? All right, so why do you believe rape is wrong? Because we should have the freedom to enjoy life the way we like it. There is nothing wrong with you having hand jobs. If everybody in the group enjoys it, fine. But what if there's somebody in your group that thinks sex is boring? You think you're better than them because they don't think sex is exciting and they don't want it? Are you going to be a bigot against them and say that just because you are a person who enjoys a lot of sex and they don't, that you're better than them and they don't have the right to exist? What about people who want to save their sex like the goddess Lakshmi for one person and don't want it with anyone else but that one special person? And then you go in there and you get in there and you barge into their relationship. You force that woman to have sex with you when she wants to save it for her special person. What gives you the right to think you're so superior that you have the right to force your way on everybody else? Doesn't Hinduism teach to respect diversity? Doesn't the goddess Lakshmi teach that? Actually, the God Jesus teaches that. The God Buddha teaches that. And I believe Islam might teach that. I'm not sure. There are a lot of problems with Islam too. And I'm sure Muhammad is not happy about how some of his followers have been interpreting some Islamic scriptures. Just like I know the goddess Lakshmi and so many of your Hindu gods are not happy with how you interpret Hindu scriptures. Just like Jesus is not happy with the way some Christians interpret Christian scriptures. If a fertile woman is showing her skin, she desires sex. Baloney. I'm showing you my skin, and I certainly don't want to have sex with the likes of you. We give sex when available. A hand job is an expression of love. No, it's an expression of pride and lust, if it is given to somebody when they don't want it. Your Western standard of love is distorted. This is not just a Western standard of love. This is a multiverse standard of love. This is what God the Father, the supreme God over all the gods, believes. Are you accusing the supreme God of being distorted? Did you know in the Old Testament a rapist would be stoned, executed? Sex is paramount importance to us, and this perspective is racist. Oh, you think God is racist. He is against rape. You say, oh, he's the white God. I don't think God the Father would appreciate you accusing him of being a racist. He is the supreme God over all the gods, including your Hindu gods. And don't listen to your god Kali. She is an evil god. Do you not tell the black community to cease rape? Of course. Rape is wrong no matter who does it. They are not as virile and potent as we, but they enjoy the sex as well. Explain. Huh? Do you not tell the black community to cease rape? They are not as virile and potent as we, but they enjoy the sex as well. It doesn't matter. I don't care what your race is. I don't care what your religion is. The supreme God over all gods, God the Father, says rape is wrong. I agree with him on this. Jesus says it is wrong. Actually, I believe all the good Hindu deities, with the exception of Kali, and there are probably some other bad ones, say rape is wrong. The Buddhist deities say rape is wrong. And I do believe, I'm not sure about Islam. I'll stay out of that. But I am certain that Muhammad would not, I don't think he endorses rape either. And if the Islamic people are doing it, I don't think Muhammad is very happy. Though I have been aware that Muhammad has been having some sex with some virgin women. I'm not going to go there. I'm not sure about Islam. But I know one thing. God the Father does not approve of rape, and I agree with him. And he is not a racist. It is not racist for somebody to want to be true to themselves. I myself am a person who only can enjoy sex if I have a connection with my partner. I require a very deep sex to have that connection. Any other sex is boring and even disgusting to me. But just because I am this way, how would you like it if I tried to force my sexual preferences on you? Did you know when I was in my 20s, I was a self-righteous prude. I saved myself from my husband in marriage. And I thought I was better than everybody else who didn't. Jesus had to allow me to marry a man who was having sex with children and who didn't tell me. And I was so proud of him because he didn't even hold my hand and he married me. And I thought he was so righteous because he had my sexual standards, which made me better than everybody else. Jesus said he had to let me marry this man to get rid of my pride in my sexual standards. I felt that if people did not share my sexual belief that sex should only be for one person and should be saved for marriage, they should die like death penalty. And Jesus said, no, Gail, that's too extreme. Too extreme. He said, I don't have problem with premarital sex, sex before marriage, as long as they love each other and they're committed and they're not violating other people's sexual preferences. We need to respect people who have different sexual preferences. I have learned now to be more understanding of those like yourselves who desire a lot of sex or desire group sex or don't even care about a connection. However, I was right. Jesus said he actually admired me for saving myself for my husband when I was young. But he said you did have a problem with pride in your sexual standards, thinking you were better than everybody else if somebody was not the same as you in what they wanted in sex. You have this problem. Your pride is very great, which makes you very wicked. You are not better than other people just because they have different taste in sex from you. You need to respect people who are different from you. Question 6 for man. You are saying we have low IQ and speak to us retardedly. Where did you get this information? Indian men have highest IQs in the world, which is why we are taking all of your tech jobs. Oh, what pride! Indians own every company. You sound jealous and low IQ. One of my supporters informed me that we tried to show the Indian Gail commandments to those who were starting to get very angry about what happened to them at the Frisco Compassion Center, which we had nothing to do with. So they tried to show them the Indian Gail commandments to let them know that I am not prejudiced against Indians. In fact, I hardly ever think about Indians. I mean, and the ones that I have met, I get along with fine. And I enjoy a lot of their food. I showed you some curry. I love curry. It's one of my favorite dishes. So he said that when they showed them the Gail commandments, they got quiet, but they didn't understand them. And he said they did a scan on them and determined that the average person in this group that was rioting had an IQ of 72. So I thought, okay, so I did some research, and I thought maybe one of my problems is because I have very high intelligence. And if I don't watch it, I can speak over your heads. So I tried to tone it down so I could be understandable, so I could help them. The goddess Lakshmi wants the Indian Gail commandments to help you. Okay? Just like Jesus gave me the Gail commandments to help me. But those of you who are proud will not listen to me no matter what I say anyway. But those of you that are humble, you may listen. So we'll see. Yeah, just like this. When Jesus talked to the Pharisees and Sadducees, they actually tried to kill him because they were proud. And he was telling them, you're not doing the Old Testament laws right. You have the same problem. You're proud. Only the humble ones among you will listen to me. The proud ones will not. They'll come up with excuses for all of their wickedness. You are saying we have low IQ and speak to us retardedly. I even said in the video that not all Indians have low IQ. So you are misquoting me and defaming my character, which I do not appreciate. I think we should sue those, there's a compassion center in Arlington, Virginia. That one should probably be closed down. I have nothing to do with it. In fact, men, I hear that one of my supporters was actually commenting underneath one of my YouTube videos, and he said his wife was in line to go to the compassion center, and he asked my advice. And I told him, I said, I don't think I and my men have anything to do with this. And I found out later I was correct. And I said, if you go in there, you're going in at your own risk, because I don't think they have anything to do with us. And we cannot be held responsible for what they do to you. They are not Church of Gail. They are lying. They are scamming you. So that is why I spoke to you retardedly. I apologize. I was not trying to insult you. But I have to be careful, because if I use a lot of big words on people who can't understand them, then I cannot communicate. Where did you get this information? I just told you. Indian men have highest IQs in the world, which is why we are taking all of your tech jobs. Oh, you are proud of having the highest IQs in the world and taking our tech jobs? You have big problem with the sin of pride. Indians own every company. You sound jealous and low IQ. No, I'm not jealous. What's there to be jealous about? As far as low IQ, like I said, That's probably what they told Jesus when he showed up, and he certainly doesn't have a low IQ. Please answer me and our questions. Well, I just have. Like I said, I will not be able to convince the proud ones among you, no matter what I say. Just like Jesus, when he showed up, couldn't convince the proud ones in the Jewish community. I have no control over your response, but I do think that there are some among you who will have the humility to consider what I have to say. And yes, I have been conversing. She hasn't showed up recently, but I have been conversing with the real Hindu goddess Lakshmi. In fact, from what I understand, she has been circulating among the Indian community and promoting the Indian Gail commandments. So, what can I say? Those of you that are humble and have open minds and open hearts will be receptive to what I have to say. Those of you who are proud, which is the root sin in every religion, will make an excuse for your evil and will continue to be evil. Have a nice day.
In a world of secrets, where darkness reigns, there's a war